Up today. Morning, crew. Right, give me a second to get set up. We're getting there slowly, aren't we? Right. Refresh that. We should be live. We are. Look at that. Almost organised. When you're ready. Thank you. Right.
How to tell if your body is
my
suffering.
word. I'll turn that down. Yes, suffering. Suffering lots. Oh my word. Skip that. Right, who have we got? We have got in the workshop this morning so far, Roger Heaps, down from Invercargill. Now then, Roger. We've got Steve is in the workshop again. What a bloke. Mike Adams. Hi, y'all. Steve says, good evening, Andy and all. Jim Haynes. Oh, got some good regulars this morning. At the sprint races in Neutral Bridge Speedway in Virginia. So I won't be watching live again this week. Have fun, guys. Well, Jim, if you are still there, good segue, by the way, Jim, you must have known. I'm going to the racetrack, the Bruce McLaren racetrack in Taupo later on this morning. A good friend of mine, Steve, is racing, and from memory, I had quite a long conversation with him a while ago, a few weeks ago. And from what I understand it, he's doing extremely well in the championship. He might even win. And today's race, races, that's the final of that particular championship. So maybe, just maybe, Steve is going to win. So I'm going to go down there and back him. And possibly, and this is only possibly, we might get a chance to collar Steve in the pits. And he's going to go through all the modifications and bits and pieces and show us the car that he races. He has, I think, 3 race cars at the moment, much to his wife's disgust. I think he's been told to get rid of at least one of them. But it'd be really interesting to have a look around his car and listen, find out what problems he's had and how he's overcome those problems. That won't be a live stream because the internet down there is atrocious. It'll be a video which I'll edit up later on. Anyway, great segue there, Jim. We're both going to be at racetracks today. Excellent. Oh my word, you guys are firing out the comments quicker than I can read them. Hang on. Steve, enjoy that, Jim. Big thumbs up. Mike Adams, have fun, Jim. Richard Perry, hi Andy and crew. GB, big thumbs up. Craig Hughes, pie for breakfast. A true Kiwi right there. Yep, no doubt you can hear the timer going off in the background. Hopefully I'm not going to overcook the pie this morning, or over reheat it anyway. I've just put it on the bottom bar this time. Despite the thumbnail, having the top bar on lit the pie up better. But it's just on the bottom bar at the moment. So hopefully, we're just fine-tuning the requirements of reheating pies there. Jim K. Good morning, Jim K. Good to have you on board, matey. Hello, crew. Al Elish. Hi, Andy. God, all the regulars are turning up today. Mikhail Brito. Hey, Andy, what's up? Everything is going just fine. Had a fantastic day yesterday. Took Mrs. Mechanic out on an ROV adventure drive. Side-by-sides, if you don't know what ROVs are. And I was doing some testing. That was one of the reasons why I went. I wanted to have a drive out as well, any excuse. And it was surprising when I got there. And I was in I'm not going to mention the brand. I was in a particular ROV, which is more of a commercial type side-by-side. And when we were busy unloading, there's, Can-Am race buggies, there's Yamaha YXZ thousands there, there's Kawasaki, 1000cc race machines, and we were very much the odd one out. Our wheel size on our vehicle was about half the size in height to what most of the buggies had there. Not to mention that my vehicle, for whatever reason, had 272 kilograms of gravel in the tray, to weigh down the rear suspension. That's the maximum load that particular ROV is permitted to carry. and I had to do the testing that I was doing with the vehicle under, full load, which made things incredibly interesting with respect to ground clearance. Initially, on the first lap we did, which was a short lap, it wasn't too bad. We did, I think, about 12, 14, I think it was 14 Ks was the first track that we did. And of course, it hadn't got too chewed up because, well, I wouldn't say we were one of the first out, but we weren't far off. So, gave me lots of confidence. The vehicle handled okay, given the load. The terrain wasn't over serious. And then we went out, well, on the longer run. We did a 20, must have been about a 22, 23 kilometre. Just check on the pie. Oh, it's all right. And got round okay. A couple of places the ruts were starting to get a bit deep, and had to get the vehicle speed up before we got to the ruts to skim over them, or if possible try and straddle them. The worst point on the route, or the worst points on the route, were the corners. This is where the race buggies really power through the corner and dig the ruts out, to the point where they were probably about maybe a foot to a foot and a half deep in places, way more than the clearance that we had under this particular RV that I was driving. So it definitely led to some pretty abstract driving style to get through. That's all I can say. Did get stuck a couple of times on the last trail, which was the same as the second one. Went out again, fully confident. And yes, in fact, the first time we got stuck, completely stuck, without requiring a recovery, was really entirely my own fault. I'd come to a junction in the track, and we were supposed to turn left, and we were joining the main track coming down and round, so it was like a T-junction, but on a bend as well. It was quite dodgy, and there was a group of these race buggies behind us, and of course, being the slower vehicle, always allow them to go past. So I pulled over to the right, but they're quite big machines. There wasn't quite enough room for them to squeeze through, so I had to inch forward, and as I did, the front two wheels dropped off the berm of the corner, and basically they were just sat in the air about a foot off the ground and about a foot away from the berm. And I thought, this is not going to end well. Gave it a little bit of throttle, and of course the back wheels just dug into the soft ground. We were completely beached. Nothing I could do to get out. I was down to just rear wheel drive, and the vehicle was basically just rocking on its belly. Anyway, as luck would have it, I did take a strop with me, and within a few minutes a chap turned up, flagged him down and got him to give us a pull off the berm, and away we went. It was all good. It was a bit dodgy because we were sort of on a blind bend, and the front end of the vehicle was sticking out into the main track, so it could have been quite a nasty accident where we were, so I was quite concerned that we had to get out of the way really quick. And then I think we got stuck another time where we needed a recovery, which was just some deep ruts. They just went on for too long. We dropped into the ruts and just ran out of steam, basically. Yeah, bit of a... Ooh, pie time. Pie time. Is it going to be warm enough? I don't know. I think it will. Hang on, I'll turn you round. You can watch the pie come out. Hang on, this is a moment. A moment to capture on camera. Here we go, look. Right. Oh, it feels warm enough. Brilliant. Good stuff. It's nice to have a pie warmer in the workshop, must admit. We'll give it a minute just to settle, as you're supposed to do. So yeah, it was an amazing trip. We actually covered in total, I think 62 kilometers of off-road trails, which was pretty good. I was aiming for 100 Ks. That was my target. But unfortunately, because I was having to give it so much beans entering the corner, a lot faster than I would really want to do. When the vehicle drops into the ruts, it creates a lot of side force on the tyre, and unfortunately the front left tyre blew off its rim. It did. They're not beadlock tyres or rims, so we had a flat, which greatly reduced the ground clearance on the front of the vehicle as well. I was already struggling for ground clearance on the rear, And then on the front, we'd lost about another, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches with that flat tyre. We sort of made our way slowly back to base. I say slowly, there were some bits that I had to, use inertia to get through, which would involve speed. And then about a kilometre before base, the other front tyre went flat. So we now had 2 flat front tyres, and steering was becoming a bit of a problem. I did find that if the faster you went, the centrifugal force obviously threw the tyre out, and you did get a little bit of steering. So, of course, that was the natural thing to do, was to send it on. It was quite funny. I did get some... Well, they were busy. They were worried about where we were because it was approaching 3 o'clock by about a minute, and the site was due to close at 3. Last vehicle off for 3 p.m. We were told, and I wanted to get back and not disappoint them and have them come in looking for us. But as we pulled into the car park, the big grassy paddock we were parked in, it was quite a tight corner, and I was, as I turned, the rim dug in, it threw a load of turf up into the air. But yes, I think they were all quite glad we'd made it back, and making it back with 2 flat front tyres makes it even better, doesn't it? What an amazing day. Good fun. Right, let's just go back to all these comments. Where are we? Bear with me. There's a lot of comments. Right, Connor K. Good morning to you, Andy and crew. Good morning, Connor. I heard earlier in the week, or was it last week or the week before? I can't remember now. That the Suez Canal is now free again of stuck ships. Well, that was the latest news I got anyway. But I also heard that the authorities have captured the said stuck ship, probably awaiting some kind of payment. I thought that was quite impressive, to capture a ship. Mike Adams, Andy, having Sunday morning breakfast pie whilst I'm still working on Saturday evening supper. Sounds good. I'm having a bowl of pinto beans and mac and cheese. I don't know what pinto beans are, but mac and cheese, I know what the hell that is. That's awesome stuff. Scrix. Hey Andy, love the channel. Thank you very much, Scrix. Really appreciate that. Daz323323. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Daz. Good to have you on board. Andreas Milluman. I'm from Belgium. It's 10:30 p.m. Yeah, I do apologise for keeping you guys up and getting you out of bed middle of the night and all that kind of stuff. It's just the way the time zones work, unfortunately. Brendan Lee Grant Mills. Morning, Andy. How are you today? I'm all right. I was pretty knackered last night, actually. It was a 2.5 hour drive to the venue, and then about 2.5 hours to get back as well. Plus, loading the vehicle onto the trailer with 2 flat tyres. And both rear tyres had definitely lost some pressure as well. It was interesting, to say the least, but we got it on. Wasn't a problem. Professionals, is what we like to think. It was actually really nice to bring back my off-road skills. And there was a couple of sections, surprisingly enough, where we were able to keep up with some of the race buggies through the tight and twisties, which really only sort of emphasises that some of the drivers there weren't particularly good. There is no way the vehicle I was driving, especially fully laden, should have been able to do that, really, if they were driving theirs properly. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, actually. Killswitch BB, morning Andy and crew. Good morning, Killswitch. Good to have you on board, matey. Headstro, morning. There's lots of new names as well, actually, today. Headstro. Morning, Andy. Good morning, Headstro. Ben, good one. Ben, where's the hookers? Well, all the hookers, or should I say, wait for it, hooks are up in the ceiling. There you go, look. Is that what you meant? Probably not. Maybe referring to the tool girls, but that's quite derogatory, isn't it? I wouldn't really put them in that class. Now then, Michael Morgan. Hi, Andy. Good morning, Michael. John VK1 JTX. Sounds like a number plate. Late night. Watch the funeral. Oh, yes. What a bloke. He nearly made it to 100, didn't he? What a shame. Peter Swatman. Morning, Andy. Good morning, Peter. Giovanni Sandoval. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Hi from Phoenix, Arizona. How are you? I'm good, Giovanni. Thank you. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Last one, Pete. Hi, Andy from California, USA. Good job, Pete. Welcome to the Andy Mechanic live stream this early Sunday morning. John VK1 JTX. Oh, it's your ham radio call sign. Good job. What's that? Victor Kilo 1. What's J? I forgot what J is. Tango X-ray J. Juliet. Yes, so that's about right. It's a Victor Kilo 1 Juliet Tango X-ray. There you go. I used to listen to some of the ham radio guys, and I used to do a lot of CB stuff, and sometimes you could hear them on that for some reason. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, smash the like button. Yes, you could do that, gentlemen and ladies. Smash the like button, that'd be good. John Ham, yes, ham radio. Giovanni Sandoval, you did. I did what? What did I do? Oh, I pronounced it right. Excellent. Cheers, John. Oh my, you're going as fast as I am. Mike Adams finally finished up the front end rebuild on my Dodge. Should have been done before now, but 70 hours at my day job and lots of rain slowed me down. It's always difficult trying to fit in those home jobs, isn't it? You know, they keep getting pushed back. I've got quite a few that are currently waiting to get done, as you well know. Mrs. Mechanic's desperate for her deck at the back of the house, and at the moment there's 3 posts sticking out of the ground, as that's as far as I've got. Hopefully in the next few months it'll be done for next summer. She'll like that, and I can get her a little hot tub and stuff to go on there. Travis Jolly, thanks for the great videos this week. Hey, no worries, Travis. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Things haven't turned out too badly. I managed to I had the little Eiffel Williams trailer in the workshop. When was it? Yesterday, I think it was. Yes, yesterday, and did a video on replacing one of the wheel bearings. I took it for a warrant of fitness. It did actually pass the warrant, but there was a little bit of play in that bearing, and I thought, well, A, it's a video, and B, it gives me a chance to look at the brakes on the machine. It hasn't had any servicing done since the day it was born, and it's 13 years old. Yes, I know. Andy's terrible when it comes to looking after his own machines. But, well, watch the video. It'll give you, well, the video comes out when I edit it, which will hopefully be sometime next week. Things sort of went to plan. Wasn't too difficult. A few little tips in there. There will be another video going out at some point of me cleaning up the brakes and adjusting them. And then probably in about a year's time, I'm going to replace the brake shoes themselves. But at the moment, they're sort of okay. So I'm not going to spend the money. Perfect. And this one's a peppercorn steak. No cheese, which is good. Oh my word. Connor K, the Suez Canal Authority is demanding over 900 million US dollars from the ship owner or stroke company before the MV Ever Given will be allowed to leave the canal. The crew is stuck there indefinitely as well. 900 million US dollars. That is ridiculous. All because of a gust of wind. That's phenomenal. Paul Taylor. Hello, Andy. Hoping you and your family are good and well. All my Yamaha FJ1200, FJ1200 3 CV carb, FJ 2003 CV carb rebuild bits came today. So that's my Sunday sorted. Yeah, that'd be fun, rebuilding those. Just need my Dana coils now and then off for an MOT. I must admit that I hadn't fitted a Dana kit before, and I'm already sold. Lots of good feedback before I took the plunge to buy the gear. On behalf of Alan, obviously, it's his bike. And installation was easy, as you saw from the videos. And the benefits to the bike are unprecedented, in my opinion. It is incredible just how easily the bike starts now. Well, it doesn't start at all at the moment because the wiring's all unplugged, but you know what I mean. It does start really, really well. And none of that in the videos was staged. It was all real live sort of starts. So, you know, because that's how I do videos. It's a lot better that way. Mike Adams, I cross-threaded a lower ball joint stud and had to replace it again. Don't you? You really kick yourself when you do that. Yeah, you think, well, I'm better than this, but every now and again we all make mistakes. It's just the way it is. Pete, how's the CB750 coming along? Good segue, thank you for that. Now, in the last live stream, we finished on a pretty down note, really. A crack was spotted in the top triple clamp, and I hadn't seen it before. And my first thoughts were, because I had recently slackened that bolt off to drop the forks to get the ears, or the brackets that hold the front headlight off the forks, and I hadn't tightened them up tight. I just nipped them up to hold the forks in place because they'd have to come out again at a later date. I thought I'd done it. I thought it was my fault. But Timothy and a few other viewers looked back on the archives of the videos and sent me through links as to, you know, minutes within each video as to where that crack was evident. So it does predate me touching that bolt, which is a bit of a relief, to be honest, because I would feel very guilty about it and end up having to pay for a new one. It's just the way it is, isn't it? But as it is, I didn't have to. And the good news is we have located a brand new, genuine Honda triple clamp. Kaitaya Motorcycles found me that. And it's costing, I think with shipping and everything, about 650 New Zealand dollars, which isn't horrendous, to be honest. I was actually quite relieved. It could have been potentially a lot more. And given the known problem, the cracking of that particular part, I wasn't prepared to go down the second-hand route. And if there is such a thing as an aftermarket one available, here in New Zealand, because the bike's got to go through compliance, that would cause a problem, and it would require the new steering component to be certified, which would cost a few $100s more. And again, the bike wouldn't be original, so it all worked out well in the end. The downside is it's on order, and it's probably going to be 2 to 3 months before it gets here. So that will definitely be the last part to go on the bike before it goes back to Alan. Damn, it's going to be in the workshop for a lot longer. But that's just project bikes for you. Now then, hang on. Oh my word. Carlton Hardy. I wonder if they would take a post-dated check. Funny. That's for the ship, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think so somehow. Steve, peppered steak for the win. Hashtag no salad. Correct. No salad today. Brendan Lee Grant Mills. You didn't know what to do with... Yeah, I didn't know what to do with myself with so many Andy videos this week. It sounds awful, doesn't it? But that's what we normally, or what I try to normally do, is a live stream and 2 videos a week. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened for a while. But now having the new laptop and being able to edit during the week while I'm in Auckland or away on the road is definitely already making a difference. It certainly makes time at home a lot more relaxed. I'm able to focus a bit more on the filming and the repair work and not have to worry at all about trying to squeeze in some editing on an evening. Or even in an afternoon, to be honest. I can just do it, you know, a couple of evenings during the week. It's easy. Hang on. Oh, God. You guys are too quick. Mike Adams, I watched one of your videos where you were bleeding the brakes on a bike. I suggest an easier way to do it. To be continued. Okay, I do like the manual bleeds, to be honest. I do like the manual bleeds, but I'm not sure I did quite a few videos on bleeding brakes, so I'm not sure which video you're referring to, so I don't know which technique we used, but I'm sure we'll find out. Pete, pie looks awesome. Where's the coffee? Well, the coffee's here. Coffee is a little bit cold. Pie is getting cold. Coffee's definitely cold. The metal benches draw the heat from the cup really quickly. Paul Taylor, Yamaha FJ 1200 Model 3 CV, 1989. Nice. Mike Adams, I collect people's medical oxygen lines. When they replace them, the ends fit perfectly into the bleeder valves. Brilliant. That's recycling down to a T, isn't it? Jason Daniel. What? Oh, is that a chip? I can't make that one out. Or is it a present? I think it's a chip. Chip in a box. Mike Adams, I put ends of the lines to all the bleeders and then run the other ends of the hoses into the master cylinder. Well, crack all the bleeders and just basically bench bleed the whole system. Yes, you could do that. You're not introducing any new fluid into the system, though, are you? Good idea. I mean, if the fluid's good, then that's a great idea. Good job. Oh my word, Jason Daniel is going mental on the old icons there. I'm sure you can all see them. I have no idea what they are. Where's the girl? I think Jason is sub 18, don't you? Canadian Charlie 64. Ever find any snakes in that garage? You asked this last time, and I did comment on your previous comment. Don't get snakes in New Zealand, to my knowledge. We don't have any here. So, nope, we don't get any. Steve, Mike, feel free to send some of that tubing my way. There you go. Collaboration on recycling. Okay, so I've caught up with the comments. Now, we do have a parcel to open that arrived while I was away, but we'll get onto that soon, very soon actually. Now, some of you may remember that I ran out of gas in the last video that went out this morning. I ran out of gas with the old Dremel gas torch thing, which is really good, by the way. If you're looking to get one, and they're not a sponsor, if you're looking to get one, these are great. I actually just got one recently for work. For Dave in the workshop, he asked for one of these torches. I was a bit concerned about giving him one because it introduces a naked flame into the workshop, and Dave's pretty dangerous, to be honest. He's an old school mechanic, and well, flames. Anyway, I did have a quick chat with him, and he promised me he wouldn't blow the workshop up. So anyway, I got some new gas, and this is the one that was recommended to me from Weller, butane gas refill. And just a note: when you are filling up your gas torch, this should be inverted. Okay, really important. Otherwise, you just end up filling the torch up pretty much with propellant as opposed to actual butane gas. But that's the one there. Look, and I found it pretty easily in Auckland, East Tamaki, and it wasn't that expensive. I think these were $16 a can, and one can lasts me for bloody ages. You know, it's not a problem. So I thought I'd mention that on the live stream, and no doubt you'll see that can in future videos as well at some point. But yeah, you know, you don't need a gas torch, but it does make life a lot easier. You know, not just for soldering, but also for doing the heat shrink as well. Let me catch up. Steve, and silicon tube if you've got a few spare meters laying around. Mike Adams, when there's no more air bubbles stop coming through the clear lines, snug up the bleeders, put the lines from the master cylinders, drain the remaining brake fluid back in the bottle. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment. Mike Adams makes it much easier when working solo. Working solo on bleeding brakes is hard work. It is, and that is one of the reasons why I got that vacuum brake bleeder. Because sometimes Mrs. Mechanic isn't here when I'm bleeding the brakes on the RRVs, and when you can't reach the brake pedal and all of the calipers. There's one caliper you can do, but the rest of them you can't. But saying that, that particular vehicle will actually gravity bleed, which is pretty cool. Steve, butane quality really matters with gas irons and torches. Pays to buy top quality. Yes, I believe it does. I can't even remember. I think I must have thrown the can away because obviously it was empty. But it was a yellow can, was the previous one. It didn't seem too bad, but I'm looking forward to. I've not used the Weller before, so looking forward to seeing how that performs. Jason Daniel, we all love the girls. I'm sure you do. Tool girls are a great addition to not addition anymore because they've been around for a long time, but yes, different dynamic when we're doing the videos for sure. And hopefully, well, it's planned in the next few weeks we'll be filming again with Tool Girl Holly down in this workshop. And we've got some great news to announce as well, but we're not going to announce that until we do the videos themselves, just to keep it as a surprise for you all. Feel free to guess if you like, and I don't know, if you guess right, I might tell you. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, it's a common misconception that New Zealand has no snakes. Here we go. But it's not the truth. Marine snakes, or sea snakes, are seen regularly in the waters around northern New Zealand. Again, another reason why I don't go in the water. Right, you've just given me a very good excuse. There are snakes in the water. But yes, I don't think there is any land snakes, unless one of those gets lost or decides to have a bit of a sunbathe on the beach, maybe. Pete, how's Mrs. Mechanic doing? Well, I think she's cooking breakfast by the sounds of it. Not my breakfast, obviously, because I've got a pie. I can't have this and breakfast because this is breakfast. But she had a great time yesterday. I mean, it was a bit, when we got stuck on a blind corner, my first concern was safety, because those race buggies come flying up behind, and it would have been an accident. There is absolutely no doubt. So as soon as I got stuck, I got Mrs. Mechanic to get out of the machine and get up into the woods away from the track just to be safe, because you get a hell of a whiplash if one of those vehicles drove into the back of you at speed. Yeah, and then she wandered down to before the bend to flag anybody down to warn them that was that I'd got stuck just round the corner, basically. But yeah, it was a great day. We were both really tired by the end of it. But yeah, great fun in the forest. Actually, I definitely looking forward to doing it again. And it's sort of just starting to get us into the swing of things for when my new Yamaha RMAX 1000 turns up. Unfortunately, it's been delayed, but it should be with us by the end of the year, hopefully. Jason Daniel, yes. Jason Daniel, hopefully. Yes, absolutely. Right, what else have we got? Okay, so we've done the Weller. We're still eating pie. Oh, yes, so I'll just jump around a bit on my schedule. Not that it's a particularly accurate schedule. Now, you might remember last week, I showed you the rim, the new rim to go on the rear wheel of Holly's bike. Now, previous to the live stream, I'd actually attempted to undo some of the spokes, and they were all seized solid and quite corroded. And it became very, very clear very early on that I would need new spokes. Now, I used to use a guy called Tom Morris up in Auckland, really nice chap. He would make up the spokes, stainless spokes for me, and he's done a few of Ben's bikes over the years. So I rang Tom, and unfortunately he has now retired. And he told me, there's a guy called Ken. Ken does them now. I sold the business to Ken, so I got hold of Ken. He gave me the address, and I took the rim and the old wheel up to Ken's. Didn't realise that Ken was about 100 kilometres north of Auckland, or north of East Tamaki anyway, but not to worry, got there. What an amazing workshop the guy has. Honestly, he's a very, very, very talented chap. Not just a professional wheel rebuilder, but he does a few other bits and pieces as well. And I was incredibly impressed by his workshop. Very oldie worldy style, works from home. Great contact to have, to be honest. So hopefully the plan is I'm going to go back up to see him because the wheel is now ready. I'm going to go back up to see him on Friday of next week. I'm going to take all the camera gear and tentatively, although that might not be the date, but he seems quite happy to do a video with me showing how to the whole process of doing a spoked wheel rebuild. That starts right at the beginning of taking all the necessary measurements and the offset or the dish of the rim, right through, including making the spokes and then fitting the spokes, truing up the wheel, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a very, very interesting video. I hope it comes off. I'm very much looking forward to it. I have brushed on truing up wheels and changing spokes and bits and pieces, but in all honesty, my video is terrible in comparison to some of the ones on the internet. I don't do it very often. I'm not a professional wheel builder. My experience is pretty limited, and it's insignificant when you compare it to Ken's. So yes, I'm very much looking. It's another one of those how-to kind of videos. We did one on ratchet straps about a year ago down in Christchurch, and I think the essence of the whole thing is the skill, and it's been proven by the fact that Tom no longer does it. You know, he's retired. The skill in doing wheel rebuilds, the people that can do it, is diminishing. It's not being passed on. We live in a disposable world now, and often people will just go and buy a whole new wheel rather than a new rim and a set of spokes and get it built up. And unfortunately, sometimes it's cheaper, although the quality may not be as good. It's just easier. Order a complete wheel, put the bearings in, bolt it into your bike. So, you know, one of the fundamental reasons of the Andy Mechanic channel is to try and preserve some of that knowledge, which is quickly disappearing around the world. And Ken was telling me that he gets a lot of wheels sent up from the South Island to do. So people freight them up from the South Island all the way to north of Auckland in the North Island. He does them and then ships them back down, which tells me very, very quickly that there isn't anybody down there that can do it and do them to a decent standard. So what's going to happen when Ken's not around in a few years' time, when he decides to retire? Who's going to do them then? It won't be me. I don't have time, and I certainly don't have the skill set to do it. It's a very specialist thing, is wheel building, and he has a lot of really cool specialist equipment to do it, you know, with making the spokes and getting the right angles and cutting the threads and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Right. Where are we? Right, hang on. Jalopy Hot Rod, we're your pretty helper girl. Okay. I'm just getting visions now. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, you're more likely to get done in by a sheep than a snake, Andy. Sheeps don't bother me. Sheeps. Steve, I've been flat out with the new studio you have, mate. Looking really, really good. Renovation this week. Painting on the scaffold for the last 2 days. Painting is worse than working on lamp trails. That's saying something. I'm not a painter. I mean, if you looked at the outside of the workshop and you've seen little snippets of the outside of the house, it needs to be painted. All of it needs to be sanded back and painted again, and I just keep putting it off. Year after year, I keep putting it off. John, Land Rovers are cool. I have a 1980s Series 3 V8. Love it. Well, John, keep hold of it because they're becoming quite scarce now, especially over here in New Zealand. I do like the Land Rovers for what they stand for. They are just a giant Meccano kit. They're relatively easy to work on. Sometimes they've sort of used a part off the shelf that was designed for something else and it's tucked away and a bit awkward to get to. But as time goes on, I have opened up to Land Rovers a lot more, especially now that they don't make the iconic Land Rover. And who knows, maybe one day I might even own one. I do still see a few of them lying around in fields and bits and pieces. If I get one, I'd like to have it on the road, and it would probably be a 110, just for the hell of having one, I think. John, I was going to do a photo of the Land Rover with your coffee mug in it. Mine was a paddock find. Wow. I mean, there are a few in the paddocks in here in New Zealand. Steve, well, yes, do that photo. Send it through. It'd be great to have it. Be a good screensaver. A good wallpaper, should I say. John, I rebuilt it to pass registration. Bloody hell. Steve, Series 2A were the last best green oval 2.25 petrols. I got given one of those, and it had a safari roof on it. See, I do know a little bit about Land Rovers. Unfortunately, the chassis snapped on it, and then it got retired. I think I got given two actually. One was from the first one was from a really good friend, Joe Essex, who lives up near Stokesley, I think, top end of the North Yorkshire Moors. I've known Joe for years. Really nice guy, and he gave me it. And then somebody else gave me one, a dark green one. Joe's was like a light blue. And I think I gave them both away or sold them both, because the green one was still sort of doable. The Joe's was, well, it was in a bad shape. By the time we'd finished with it, it was pretty knackered. Pete, we need to get the young people into working with their hands. A lot of them don't want to get into mechanics anymore. And the problem here in New Zealand is the guys that have got the skills are not given the time to pass it on to the new guys coming into the workshop. So when they leave, that's it. They have to outsource everything. Stuff that they would have done in-house, they can't do anymore. It's a huge problem over here. It really is. John, I have a full workshop here for the Landis. I've rebuilt 3 now, including a 2A. Wow, you're a lucky chap to have a big workshop like that. De Papier Flingna. Is that right? Flingna. Hey, managed to catch the stream today. Doing some 3D CAD work for a change. Designing toolbox inserts after seeing your toolbox series. That's something that I need. On the drawers that have the nuts and bolts in, that's exactly what we're planning to do. And I think I'll do them out of aluminium. They don't need to be painted. Probably 3mm alley, and just basically just a flat plate which will sit vertically, across the drawer. We'll have slots in, so then you can then slot basically another one at 90 degrees to it, and it'll just drop in. So the slots will be half the height of the actual plate. And then you can just order it in like maybe 2 meter lengths, and then just cut it down to whatever you want and just make up your inserts. It'd be great. It'll actually make it look very, very cool. So maybe this week I'll get around to designing that. Or if you design it and you get it to work, so we know what the gaps need to be, it's not difficult, but if you want to design it, send me through the CAD file on an email. I can get them made here, and you can do all the work for me. And all I need to do is tell the lads to vary the height. I mean, I think these drawers are 50mm in depth. So a 50mm spacer should be fine. So if you want to base it around that, that'd be cool. And I think the other drawers are, I think they're 35mm looking at them. I'll go and measure them later on. Send me an email and we will communicate. I'll have a measure up tomorrow for you. To Papier Fliniger, I'm young and into mechanics. Good job. Well, you're a rarity these days, which is a terrible shame. Steve, I'm quite like an I'd quite like an FC 101. Yes, a forward control. But my dream vehicle is the Alvis Stalwart. One day, hopefully. Well, certainly the Alvis was on my wish list as well. Phenomenal machine. I have a little hunch that they're quite expensive now, Steve. Even the 101s fetch big money. I have worked on a friend of mine, Matt Plowman. He had a 101 and I helped him. I think we changed the distributor cap and some HT leads and other bits and pieces. It might not have been his. It might have been a customer's actually that he had, because he used to do a lot of customer work. Very, very clever chap is Matt. Knows a lot about Land Rovers. Connor, very true about a disposable world. I was on a ship once when a winch motor died. We got it rewound. And when we were in a Mexican port, we would have bought a new one if we were in a US port. That's so interesting. And it just highlights the fact that the skill set in the US, and maybe it's partly to do with the labor cost as well, just chuck a new one on. That just seems to be the answer these days, doesn't it? John, Steve, a mate has a 101 and one of his mates has the Stalwart. Steve's going to be upset now. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe he's going to try and buy one of them. Awesome, says Steve. De Papier, do you have a 3D printer? If you do, you can 3D print stuff like that. I don't have a 3D printer, and I don't want to make them out of plastic. I want to make them out of aluminium, just so they're a bit more durable. And it'll probably cost as well. To get them laser cut out of Ali is going to be pretty cheap. I don't know what the plastic material is and what the cost is for a 3D printer. But no, I definitely want to go down the route of aluminium. I think that's the best option. And it's certainly something which, maybe we can share to other viewers as well. I think it's a really good way of keeping drawers nice and tidy. Jalopy Hot Rod. Only just recently seen your channel. A very good. I'm in Canada. Excuse the silly question, but are you close to where Burt Munro lived? I don't think so. I think Burt Munro was in the South Island. He was down towards Invercargill somewhere. I think is where he lived. So because that's where the Burt Munro event every year is held. I don't exactly. I should watch the movie again. Actually, The World's Fastest Indian. Good movie. De Papier. Actually, I'm doing tool inserts like wrench and socket. And socket inserts. But I'll send you a mail and maybe I can help you with your screw boxes. Awesome. Thank you very much. John, Bert was in Invercargill. You see, there you go. John Bert was in Invercargill. I was pretty close. Normally, when I'm not on the live stream, it takes me about the time it takes them to make a coffee at the BP Wild Bean Cafe to eat the pie. When I'm on a live stream with you guys, it takes me ages. Right. We're not behind, but I can't have a really long live stream today because I've got to get to the racetrack. Otherwise, Steve's going to be upset. I don't know when he's racing. I imagine there's a few heats. Right, so we have a parcel to open. How am I going to do this? Opening parcels is always difficult. Hang on. Bear with me. We'll put you on top of the hot box. That'll work. How's that? Oh, are we good? Because I can't see the screen anymore because you're on the main camera. Right, hopefully you can see what's going on. Yes, don't cut towards yourself, Andy. I always forget. Yeah, look, it just feels more natural to cut towards yourself. So this got, oh my word. This got sent down by Tire Motorcycles. And Bonnie tells me, Bonnie's the parts girl. Oh, what an idiot, I can see myself on my laptop. Hi, Andy. Right, okay. Hi, Andy. Right, Oh my word, what have we got in here? Well packed, Bonnie. Oh, we've got stuff. Hang on. This isn't packing, this is actually stuff. What have we got? Ah, we've got a very small screw. No idea what that's for yet. I've obviously ordered it for something. That's the part number. You can read that. I know what this is. This is the pivot bolt for the front brake lever. There's the part number there, look. Specialist part. Jeez. And, oh, I know what this is as well. I'll just put a little snick in the end and we'll pull it out. So this is the actual, and there's the part number, look. It's the actual rear brake light switch spring, the proper one. Cool, because I think I got a generic one that you had to bend yourself, and I wanted the real one. Right, what else have we got? No blood, don't want any blood. Right. Well, this is well packed. For something that's squidgy, it's well packed. Right, that's the clutch lever cover. There you go. If you ever decide to rebuild a DR200 farm spec bike, you'll need to know that part number. Right. Oh my word, what have we got in here? I think I have a hunch. So that's the part number. There you go, look. And I know these part numbers are completely useless to nearly everybody around watching the live stream, but you know, I've got to include it, haven't I, really? Ah, a mirror. We're getting very road legal now, aren't we, look? Now, usually the manufacturers put them in different coloured bags depending on whether the left mirror or the right mirror. So we have, oh, there you go, look, you can see your camera now. Fantastic. That's you guys in the picture there, look. So we've got that one. Don't want to drop that on the floor, because that would have been cheap. Again, genuine parts. I mean, come on. No messing around there. So is this the same part number? I don't know. It's not. So the mirrors are handed. So that's the part number of the other mirror. I've no idea which is which, but it could well be down to different threads. Sometimes one has a right-hand thread, one has a left-hand thread. Yes, you see, look, a blue bag for the other mirror. That's what the Japanese tend to do. So, has this got... Now, that's a normal thread on that one. So, I'll get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. So, what's the thread like on this one? Is this the one that hasn't got a left-hand thread? I don't know. No, it hasn't. They're both normal right-hand... Oh, hang on. I could be wrong there. No, normal threads by the looks of it. Just different brackets maybe. I don't know. We'll find out when we put it on in one of the videos, I'm sure. Cool. So we've got mirrors. We've got a few other bits and pieces. I'm still waiting on a new rear wheel spindle. But Bonnie tells me that has now arrived, and she has she sent it yet? I think she might have sent it. I'm hoping she has, because that wheel's done now. Right, we'll stick that spring back in there for the video. Okay, that is done. Good job, Bonnie. Thank you very much. Right, I need my camera back. Turning around, 3, 2, 1. There we go, look. Making a mess in the workshop now. Oh, you can see all the lights, look. Turn the camera down. That's a fly being electrocuted, which is good. I do like that fly killer. Okay, so we've done that. We've done the parcel. So again, thank you very much, Bonnie. Really, really appreciate that. I'll owe you a pint when I come and see you next. Butane gas done. The rear wheel possible video with Ken. Hopefully that's going to happen. He said it will. Hopefully. We've done the racetrack. Yes, that off-road trail drive where I took the ROV was actually at a place called Burt Brothers. I'll show you on the, I actually got the Google Maps thing fired up, so I'll show you where it was in New Zealand. Bear with me, I'm just going to turn you around. Dum 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 dum. Look at this, so organised. Right, so that's what it's called, Burt Brothers Trail Ride, and it was at 254 Mima Road, Matata. So if we get rid of that bit now, we'll get rid of that. There we go, and you'll be able to, you'll know where Rotorua is. There's Rotorua here, look, and if we go a bit further up, there's Auckland. There's, I can't pronounce this place, I call it Turanga because I'm Yorkshire, and it's there, look. That's where it was, at Matata. Burt Brothers Trail Ride. Really cool, actually. And it took us basically into a lot of this sort of, there's like a big forest area around here. I know it's not marked on the map, but there is, in fact, let's do satellite. Or we could use modern technology here to help us. So there should be a forest there. So it was in all this area here, look. Very, very steep and rugged, some of it. So I would suggest we were probably around this area here on the map. But very, very cool. And there's a lot more trails. They're all privately owned trails, but there's a lot of trails through this area. Fantastic fun. Had a great time. Right, turn you round. There we go. Okie dokie. That sort of works, doesn't it? Yes, perfect. Okay, so where are we at? We've done that, done that, done that. Right, we'll have a quick cigarette, answer some, so many comments. Answer some more comments, and then we'll go and take a look at Tall Girl Holly's bike, because I did some more work on it last week, which I didn't make a video. I should actually have made a video. I should have made a video on it. It turned out really well. Should have made a video, didn't make a video. Just actually wasn't in the mood that day to make a video. We all have our off days, and that's the real reason why I didn't make the video. But I should have made a video, and I even considered redoing the whole thing to camera afterwards because it all worked out really well. But that's classed as a staged video, and I don't like doing staged videos. It's not what it's about. Now, let me just scroll down. Have you all gone home? No, you're still there. It's got 31 people, right? Right, did the Bertman Row thing. Done that one. De papier, the plastic. Oh, de papier, the plastic is super cheap. Costs $20 a spool for 1 kilogram. Wow, that's actually really cheap. I thought it was going to be quite expensive. Alan Cook. Good morning, Alan. Welcome to the workshop. Let me get a cigarette fired up. Otherwise, I'll get talking again. Forget. Jalopy Hot Rod. That's a shame. I try and pass on knowledge to young people and that want to learn, but is few of the modern youth that want to work hard and get dirty pulling wrenches. I've been a mechanic for 20 years. I think there's a lot more. I suppose it's about the income levels as well, isn't it? You know, I mean, Ben, my eldest lad, he, in fact, only son, by the way, just to clarify. To my knowledge, he's a really good mechanic. He's got an engineer's mind. He thinks outside the box. He comes up with solutions and makes things with the materials he's got available. He doesn't, you know, he's often will design something based around the environment that he's in, be it the materials, the tools, whatever. A clever guy, really clever guy, and he works on bicycles at the moment. In between doing his uni work, and he's done it for years, and he's a very, very good bicycle mechanic, far better than I am. He's so much more knowledge now. I only did bicycles for about 18 months, if that, to be honest. He's done them now for over 10 years, and he's seen them evolve. But he said to me, shall I be a mechanic? Because I'm good at it, Dad. And I said, well, what do you want out of life? Do you want a nice big house and a decent car and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and go on holidays every year? Or do you want to just constantly work, just really to pay the bills and have a little bit? And he said, well, I want a decent life. And I said, well, you don't be a mechanic. I know you enjoy doing it, but once it becomes your job, you sort of lose it as a hobby. So he's also into computers, and he's been learning coding. Now, as a computer coder, you earn big bucks here in New Zealand, a lot of money. There's a shortfall of that kind of skill set here in New Zealand, and once you're classed as a senior programmer, you can get a job pretty much anywhere around the world, and you can earn some decent money doing it. So that's what he's been focusing on. He's doing his degree on computer coding, all the various languages. I have no idea. The nearest I got to program a computer was in BASIC, and it was like, I think it was line 10, print whatever it is on the screen, and then line 20, go to line 10, and it would just print whatever you put in inverted commas across the screen. That was my party trick, and that's as far as it went. I'm not a computer programmer. Although, to be fair, when I was working for Mercedes-Benz in Barcelona, they were teaching me how to do CNC programming. I'm talking line by line now, moving the tool head. And he says, oh, what do you want to make at the start of the week? And I says, oh, and I had a Firestone map in my bag of Barcelona. So I'll do the Firestone logo. And he looked at me, and he must have known this is going to take him a long, long time to move that tool head through all those different radius of that logo. And he was absolutely right. I nearly got it finished. It was just the S in the middle that I didn't do by the end of the week. So yeah, it's not easy. And at that time, you couldn't just scan something and then the CNC machine, the milling machine, replicate it. You had to actually do the lines of the programming. I enjoyed it, but I would never do it as a job. John, I was brought up just outside Christchurch. Dad was from Bert's era and used to talk about him a lot, and so he should. Bert was an amazing bloke. Here we go. Roger Heaps, Bert Munro, born Endale, where dairy factory is, then moved to Invercargill, got to say it right, as an adult. I always say it like a pirate. I don't know why. Invercargill. Thanks, Roger. John, cheers for that, Roger. Absolutely. John Nuttall, hit the like button now. See, John Nuttall is my like button guy. Oh, we're up to an hour and 2. I told Mrs. Mechanic it'd take me an hour to do this live stream this morning because we've got to get going. So we're running over time now. Mike Adams, I'm back. Got pulled off on a phone call. Well, Mike, that's just not good enough, is it? You got to tell the customers to go away. Depapier, in Germany every 2 years. What's in Germany every 2 years? You go to Germany every 2 years. I'm trying to join the dots, and I can't join the dots on that one, Depapier, sorry. Paul Taylor, Mike Adams, I change brake fluid every time I do a service. Every 6,000 to 7,000 miles as part of a service. Well, that's pretty good. You don't get that in New Zealand. There's some of my bikes now that have been pushing in and out of the workshop that even the brake fluid is looking pretty grim, so I'm going to have to replace that pretty quick. So, Tool Girl Holly's bike. Let's just swing the camera out a bit. It's coming on. I think I told you in the last live stream I fixed the swing arm bushes. They're all done. Very happy with that. And can you spot the difference? I'm going to spot the difference live stream for you. It's got indicators. It has, and they actually work. The battery is currently on charge because it's a little bit down. I want to do a little wander around the bike and show you the brackets that I made because I really wanted to. Well, the problem was, I'm on the other side of the camera this time. The problem was that the indicators are for the, I think it's the TL125 two-stroke Suzuki farm bike. It's the only ones I could get hold of. I was given them, which is very, very nice. Saved some money. But I didn't realize until I took the indicators apart, they were only a 6-volt indicator. Now, this bike is geared up to use 21 watt, 12 volt bulbs. And the only ones I had in the workshop that were 21 watt are the 50 mil height bayonet fitting bulbs. But the lenses weren't domed enough to take those bulbs. So I was looking at different options, and I actually found some LED bulbs that are only 30mm high, which would fit with the same bayonet fitting, single pole, but of course I'd have to buy them. So at the moment it's only got 5-watt bulbs in there, but they are pretty bright, and I think they're going to be bright enough for the warrant of fitness. So I'm just going to leave them in for now, and if they do fail it on that, then obviously I'll get the LED ones, which will be a lot brighter. That's the plan, although the LED bulbs were measured in lumens as opposed to the normal bulbs, the incandescent bulb, which is, I think it's an incandescent, isn't it? Which is obviously a watt rating. So 2 different scales. They should be brighter. LEDs are usually a lot brighter, so I think that'll get me out of trouble if there is a problem. The only upside is the little 5-watt bulbs are readily available. So if one blows on the road, I can replace it nice and easy. And as regards the indicator relay, it's got an electronic relay that I've robbed off another bike, so it's not dependent on wattage or current flow, which would then therefore determine flash rate. So the flash rate is acceptable. Len, getting pulled off on a phone call sounds like fun. Oh, well, Len, you just had to bring that up, didn't you? Mike Adams, okay, thanks, Paul. Right, cigarette is done. Let's have a little wander around Tool Girl Holly's bike, and then we're going to have to sign off this live stream. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble. Okay, turning the camera around. In fact, I'm going to unplug the camera. Jeez. Turn the camera around. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Right. Slow pan of the workshop, because I'm always told I do it way too fast. Okay, so first of all, prove that they work. Ignition is on, indicators on. Oh, look at that. I think that's going to be bright enough, don't you? I think it really is going to be bright enough. Oh, the headlights on as well. Nice. Yes, and the rear one works as well. Pretty cool. And so we've got to check the other side, so we'll cancel that. We'll do some left indicating. And brilliant. Look at that. So, the brackets. I wanted to mount them in the same position that they should be in. And I couldn't use the Suzuki brackets because they're a different style mount on the indicator for this other bike. So I made some little steel 3mm plate brackets, and they had to have a little bend. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they had to have a little bend in them as well to get the indicator to sit perpendicular to the bike, which is very important. So we got those done. The wiring, this wiring is going to get tidied up. It's got to go around under here actually. Slightly different routing. This side is better, as you can see. And then going over to the front. The front ones are a bit easier to make, to be honest. And that's where they're supposed to mount off there, look. And up to there. So quite a neat sort of job it turned out to be. I was very happy with it. And I think they're not set too far back, because I was conscious that when you're doing a war... Gee, let me turn the headlights off. Jeez, it's too bright. Where's the lights? There, look. There we are. Right. When you're doing your warrant of fitness, your indicator, you've got to be able to see at the centre line of the bike. I think it's 15 degrees. So if we stand over here, can we see the indicator? Yes, we can. I think that's definitely going to be a pass. We're going to be okay there. So that's very important. And a lot of people fit aftermarket indicators, and they're not on a stalk like this. They sort of tuck them right in down here, and of course then they fail the warrant because the headlight blocks the indicators. Something to bear in mind. But I think actually it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think we did a good job there, and it would have made a great video. So my apologies. Right, it's better turn the indicator off, otherwise it'll flatten the battery. Oh, and the charger that I'm using, just while we're on, is this one, which is pretty good. Yeah, look, it's going ballistic at the moment because the current draw is changing, so we'll turn that off. There we are, look. So yes, it's charging up the battery a bit more now. 0.85 of an amp. Good job, Oxford. Keep it up. Right, what else have we got? Back to the workshop. Yes, still got the crack. Oh, honestly, not good at all, is it? Bugger. Right, back to the bench. So I can hear Mrs. Mechanic making noises outside. I think that is going to be my my time to sign off, but we'll just quickly read the comments that have come through. Steve, hurry back, Holly. We miss you. Yes, we all miss Tool Girl Holly. But she's doing fine, and she's definitely coming back to the workshop for another weekend. We've got some news, and we're going to announce the news in one of those videos that we do when she comes back. Mike Adams, pretty bright. I think so. Paul Taylor, you're welcome, Mike. Also think on with chain and sprockets on bikes. The front sprocket works 3 times harder than the rear, as it's 3 times smaller and should be changed more frequently. It should. I do tend to change chain and sprockets as sets. I know you can get away with just changing the front sprocket and chuck a chain on it, and often you can actually, if you're a real tight ass, you can, on some bikes you can reverse the rear sprocket round so that you start on the other side of the tooth or teeth on the rear sprocket and get some more life out of it. I don't think this particular bike is going to do a tremendous amount of kilometers after the big trip down to Invercargill from Cape Reinga to Bluff. That's going to be about a 3,000 kilometer ride, I think, looking at the route that I've chosen. It's quite a trip, to be honest. Things are coming together. Mrs. Mechanic is going to be driving the support vehicle because we're going to be taking a few bits and pieces with the spare wheels and that kind of stuff, just in case. And of course, we'll have the bike rack with us just in case we have a catastrophic failure or we need to uplift the bike to get it somewhere to get it fixed, or for me to fix it and get parts. Whatever happens, we've set ourselves about between 10 and 12 days to complete the ride. So it shouldn't be too rushed. We can do lots of filming and do a few visits along the way. One place that I'm trying to organise, which I haven't really started yet, but in Wanganui, is the Suzuki New Zealand headquarters. I do have a couple of contacts down there, so I would like, if possible, to swing by their head office and do a quick video down on their site, just to show them the bike, and hopefully I can also maybe get them on board to supporting the trip as well, because to take a farm bike that distance through New Zealand has got to be a good PR for them as well. So it'd be good to try and get some kind of support from them, whether it's parts or what, I don't know, but we'll see what I can come up with. So if any of you have got a contact in New Zealand, Suzuki, just let me know, and maybe they'll be the person that can help. Now then, Steve, great stream, mate. Enjoy the racing. Thank you very much, Steve. Well, that's it. Great segue to the end of the live stream. Thank you again, Steve, and good luck with your new workshop. I'm watching the changes in anticipation. Actually, it's coming on really, really well, and the videos that you can produce out of there will be, I'm absolutely confident, will be fantastic. A great new chapter for your YouTube channel, and in all honesty, career, really, isn't it? Okay, crew, thank you again for watching. Really been great to have you on board in the workshop today, and lots of great comments and questions have come through, and you've all answered your own questions, I think, really, haven't you? You've done a great job. Or each other's questions, should I say. If you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon or through the PayPal portal. The email address is down in the description, andymechanic@live.co.uk. And of course, feel free to send me an email as well. Many of you do now send me emails, and I do my very best to reply back to them in a reasonable time frame. It's not always easy. Jim K, if you're still there, I did see a missed call from you. I'm sorry, I was in a meeting. I couldn't answer the phone. Maybe next week, Monday or Tuesday. So tomorrow or Tuesday should be fine. I'm working from home, so I should be able to answer my phone. All right, crew. Well, until next time, thanks for watching. Cheers. Over and out.